Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the third season of the Inuyasha Anime.
And this season sort of steps away from the usual pattern of finding pieces of the Shikon jewel, and instead has more self-contained arcs. Naraku has gone into hiding after the last big battle, so now our heroes are fighting entirely new villains.
Yes, which was a little strange. Before we start that though, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates of future podcasts and little pause videos.
Absolutely. And what was really more strange about this particular season is how there were a heck of a lot of filler episodes.
Yeah, it was like, why? And it's not that they were bad, they were just like, why are they here? They're okay, but it really doesn't add to anything. No one grows, nothing super fun happens. It's not that much, they're just okay.
Yeah, and it took so long to get to the episodes that were canon to get the story to move further along, and it kind of affects the viewing to me. Don't get me wrong, I still love Inuyasha, but for me right now, seasons 1 and 2 were the top tier seasons of this anime, of this particular series.
Yeah.
This one,
and it could be because they were trying to stretch out the series, because maybe the manga wasn't too long and maybe they weren't finished yet, so they tried to stretch it out like Bleach and try to come up with some original ideas to help flesh out the story some more until the manga was either finished or was enough material for them to adapt. Because I've seen that be an issue with a lot of anime where they'll get really caught up to the manga and then you have to take a break, or they have to start coming up with original stuff to give them time to put more chapters out. So perhaps that happened in Inuyasha, and then once the manga was finished or reaching the conclusion, then they could go back to following the story, and then when it gets to like the final act.
okay, the constants in here, Kagome and Inuyasha and Moroku trying to fill Ansango's butt and boobs.
What the heck?
And Shippo, who
Shippo.
Yeah, and keeps turning into these little animals and helping them out. And those are the constants.
The character traits. Yeah, the character is the only thing that seemed to be still going in here. Because, as you mentioned, Naraku just disappears.
Right.
His two, like, rip-off, homunculus, well, not rip-off, kind of sort of homunculus, they kind of do the work for him. It's like he's regenerating or regrouping or something, so he's kind of gone into hiding because he has no body anymore. He's got like these monster-looking parts of him, so he can't fight right now. So they're doing the fighting, or they just got all new creatures, or he's just spitting out monsters for them to fight while he's somewhere else. And then it becomes so apparent that they're like, okay, is Naraku ever gonna come back? We keep fighting off these one-shot rejects. Are we ever gonna fight him again? They kind of bring that up within the show, like they know something's wrong with this.
And now they bring this girl in who looks like she's from the Shinning with white hair, who has a mirror that captures the people, captures their true being in the mirror, which is, it's kind of like...
Why?
Yeah. And one of the big disappointments for me, I think, is Ryu, who's the wolf man, or the wolf boy, whichever you want to call him, and the antagonistic relationship between him and Inuyasha battling for Kagome. We were looking for that back this season, and then the first thing was disappointing is they changed the voice actor. And no offense to whomever it is, but he doesn't fit. After hearing him have the heavier voice, and it contrasting with how he looks, and when they would do the arguing and so forth, that was perfect. His voice is too soft for the character. It doesn't give the same impression. And now he's kind of like, he's in the episode. That's it. It's like he's making a guest appearance, and he really doesn't lend any importance to the story.
No. There's even a point where they have him in an episode and they bring in a whole new character to be his maybe, sort of, possibly love interest. Yeah, ship. And it was weird because it's like you said, they had this constant rivalry with Inuyasha. You know Inuyasha's gonna win. But it was fun seeing the rivalry. Yes. But it's like, okay, we're tired of this. throw in somebody for him so we can stop coming in, and then they did. It's like, well, then there goes that funny part. That means he won't be calling him dog, mutt thing, wolf boy. No, he won't be saying any of that anymore because they kind of put him with someone else, and he doesn't remember her because he made a promise to her when she was younger, and I guess she took it literal and is looking for him to do on that promise now, and it's like, I don't think he was serious. You were what? How old now? Right. So it was really weird. They just come home with another wolf girl so they could get rid of that plot line, and it doesn't work because it was just like, it doesn't, for us, it doesn't fit with what's going on in the story. She doesn't even add anything to the story.
Right. And of course you have your regular episode now. It appears in each season. We have seen Inuyasha be powered down by the moon.
Yeah.
And I think that's just an episode that happens now every time. Even in the spinoff Yashahime, Toa ends up doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so this is just a requirement every season for whether it's the original series or the spinoff. And now you're kind of used to it. At first you're like, whoa. And the second season you're like, whoa. And the third season you're like, okay, can you just go ahead
so much.
and it's done so he can turn back, kick their butts, and move on.
Right. And they also have it happen so often here, where I guess it's almost in line with the villains coming to attack. Like, it happens exactly the time, and they won't know it. It just lines up somehow. And I was like, okay, you're making it harder for it to be a secret if they keep coming out exactly when the moon comes out. So when they do this, it's not even as entertaining because there's not even any stakes anymore with it. Because you were really concerned if he was going to get injured or damaged because he was vulnerable, he was human. Now he hides so well, or he ends up having to fight anyway, like you know he's going to make it out. Now the stake for it for some reason is just gone for that. There's no more excitement and wondering if he's going to make it out of it.
Right. Now what I do like is we get to see Kagome go home a few times, and Inuyasha goes with her.
What? He's like, what?
And he puts a baseball cap over his ears, and he's walking around barefoot, and he really thinks he blends in.
Yeah, that's it. It's like
he's walking on the balls of his feet.
Right? And if he came out now, he probably would just pass as a cosplayer. So then he wouldn't even need a disguise. Like, oh, you're cosplaying somebody. Sure.
I love that her brother's now used to Inuyasha. He's really used to him. He's like, oh, he's back. He's back, and the mom's used to him, and he eats, and the grandpa's used to him. So
yeah, he just visits now so casually. Yeah.
And unfortunately, we learned today, as of the day we're doing this recording, that the voice actor for Kagome's grandfather passed away.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, in the Yashahime spinoff, we'll no longer be hearing him from what he recorded past. So
right.
And but I do love that we get to see a little more of him in current time, modern times, thinking he's blending in.
Right. Another thing they also had stopped this season, I guess, to fill in gaps was they stopped having the spirits or the creatures and stuff being in the modern day or in Kagome's time, because there would be every now and then there would be something that was latent there and then comes to the present and starts wreaking havoc. They did not have that this season. I mean, last two seasons they had a spirit of a mask, and another one they had the ghost of a girl. Here they didn't have any of that. She just kind of goes, it's kind of chill. She goes to relax, study, rest, eat, and Inuyasha keeps following her for some reason, keep waiting for her. He's like, when are you coming back?
For some reason.
He follows her.
Man's got
He goes there because like it's been 5 minutes. He's like, "Where are you coming back?" Like she just left.
Right.
So it just kind of plays out as just the toned down.
Normal now. And
yeah.
Like everyone's used to him
So
now,
there's no more episodes of the things coming out in the present day time period. The only thing that they've kept is her friends, her female friends, who keep saying she needs to dump Inuyasha, and it's like, what do you know? None of you have boyfriends, so you can't really be the ones to judge. And then the boy that's the classmate that keeps asking Kagome out, and she keeps saying no. Yeah, and he keeps saying no. She keeps saying no. And okay, I'll just ask again later. And he finally got to go out this time. And he was so happy.
Have a chance,
right? It's like when you keep, and he's like, oh, you've been to school for 3 days. You must be feeling better. You haven't had any type of sickness or a broken leg or nothing this time. So like they stopped having excuses because there was a point where she was there for over a week. It's like, are you sure she's okay now? Because she hasn't anything wrong with her.
And of course, Shippo and Naraku and Sango, they all want her to still bring those noodles back.
Right, and treats.
Yes, they're looking for her to bring those things back. Two things I want to point out in this before we finish is one is Sango's brother has been brought back with the Shikon jewel.
Yes.
And her main goal is to release her from the clutches of Naraku.
Yes.
And without killing him by removing the jewel. So that's become a part of this season as well. And you're happy that her brother's still around because she was the only one left.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good part of this. And the last thing I want to mention is how, again, you were saying there are so many filler episodes. Some of them were actually pretty funny.
You're right.
There was one where, and I hope I'm in the right season, I am, where they went to this place and Kagome kept telling him sit boy because they thought at first Inuyasha was a small G god.
Yeah.
And then they find out he isn't.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't want to do this. What do you think? You know,
right.
You know how he is.
Yes, and it's supposed to be these three little monkeys,
Yeah.
little monkeys, and there's a monkey deity or something, and they think he's a dog deity.
Right.
And only you can stop it. And then they're little pranksters, and then they put this thing curse on him where he can't put his hand from under a boulder, so his hand's just stuck there. So the way he counteracts it, he just takes the boulder with him and tries crushing people with it.
And Kagome unfortunately helped them. She's like, sit boy.
They're like, ah!
She didn't even help him. She's like, help the little.
He's a help. Yeah, he's a help me. It's like, okay, his back is destroyed. Can you stop telling him to sit?
So, although not enjoying this as much as seasons 1 and 2, still enjoying Inuyasha, still enjoying the characters, the voice actors, and the adventures that they're having. And if you've seen Inuyasha season 3, let us know what you think in the comments. Do you feel the same way? Or do you have a different take on it? If you haven't seen Inuyasha season 3, you have to go to Hulu to see it, or you have to purchase the DVD.
Right.
Those are the only ways that you can watch past season 2.
Right. And hopefully Netflix will add the others. We're hoping.
Yeah.
So, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification bell updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
And Inuyasha movies 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming up.
Yes.
Well, 2, 3, and 4 coming up.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Oscar Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.